So in this video, we're going to talk about the use of mirrors. And there are three different categories that the examiner is going to mark you on when it comes to the driving test. They are signalling, change of direction, and change of speed. And I'll show you what those are on the move now. Now, the first thing that we need to be thinking about is the signalling one. Now, a lot of you know MSM or MSPSL, which is mirrors, signal, position, speed, and look. So before I turn left here, I check my rear view and my left mirror. Now the reason to do that is because if someone is very close behind you, you're going to need to use your indicator a bit earlier, so you give them a bit more knowledge. The other time that you would also need to check the mirrors is because if someone is going to go past you on the side you're moving towards, so say for instance I wanted to turn left, but I could see there was a cyclist coming up on the left mirror, I might think about maybe not going for that turn. I might want to use my indicator earlier, okay, tell that person that I'm intending to make that turn. Hopefully they'll drop back and allow you to make that turn, but if they don't, you may have to slow down to a stop to allow that vehicle to go past you, or that cyclist to go past you, before you then proceed to go. So the examiner will be watching you. As soon as they say turn left or turn right, they're expecting to see you do that and that, or that and then that. If they don't before the indicator goes on, they will give you a driver fault for that. The next one is change of direction. Now when it comes to change of direction, there are a few different categories that falls into. So if I'm changing position, so I'm going around say a parked car, I'm going to have to check my mirrors to do that. So I'm going to check my rear view and then my right mirror. Or if I'm moving back over to the left after I've gone around that car, I'm going to check my left mirror. And the reason for doing that is because if I can see that there is someone that might overtake me, I might want to use an indicator, or I might want to get that position extra early so I make that space my own. If I'm changing lane, then that goes without saying. Check your mirrors, use an indicator, tell people what your intention is. The other time that you would have to do mirror checks is if you're going around parked cars, potholes, litter, anything that's going to make you even move an inch. Check it safe first. It takes 1/4 of a second just to glance, and that could save someone's life. So it's really important. The next time that you have to think about change of direction mirror checks is when you have a lanes merging scenario. So say for instance you're at a set of traffic lights, there's 2 lanes and you're in lane 1, so the left lane. Now as you pull away, you want to be checking that right mirror, because yes, you might not be changing direction, but they might. So you want to be thinking, what if that person starts to drift, or if they go to accelerate faster than you and they might want to move in front of you. You might have a cyclist or a motorcyclist. So again, you need to be checking your side mirrors to see if there's going to be a merging lane scenario. You're already covered for that. Now the third one is change of speed. Now you probably just noticed as I pulled away there, I checked all 3 mirrors. Now the reason for that is because I might have a motorcyclist again that is filtering through the traffic and might then pull in front of my car. So before I accelerate, I check all 3 mirrors. And that could be at traffic lights like that, or if I'm pulling away when I'm in traffic, but also when I'm going through a speed increase sign. So if I'm on a 30 road and I can see a 50 sign, before I get to that 50 sign, I'm going to check all 3 mirrors. And if I can see someone's overtaking me, then I am not going to accelerate. And remember, you can't start to accelerate over the 30 until you get to that 50 sign. Then you can start doing 31, 32, and so on. Now, if no one is overtaking you, then by all means, accelerate. And that also goes when there's more than one lane. A lot of people think that because you're in lane 1, I can accelerate if someone's overtaking me, it's fine. That's not the case, and you will get a serious fault on your test for that, because they might think that you're still going to be doing that speed. They then filter across the lane because they don't check their mirror, and then there's an accident. So wait until that vehicle's overtaking you, and then you can start to build up your speed again. Now for decelerations, it's rear view mirror only. And the way that I teach my clients, and this is not something that a lot of instructors teach, in fact, I believe it's probably only me that's really made this one up, but it's what I call APP. Now that stands for active, potential, and progressive. So when it comes to active hazards, they're things that are 100% going to make you slow down or stop. So here I can see that I've got traffic ahead of me, so I'm checking my rear view because I know I've got to slow down or stop. Now if the car behind me or vehicle behind me is too close, I might want to start braking earlier to give them more time of my intention, therefore lessening the chance of an accident. Now a potential hazard is something which might make me slow down. So this green traffic light, for instance, it might change to amber. There it is. So again, I've already given myself that knowledge of what's going on behind. So as I'm coming up to that traffic light, I'll be telling myself, from here I'd stop, from here I'd stop, from here I'd stop, from here I'd go. Now, if we don't have that plan, especially on the test, the chances are you are probably going to make the wrong move. It's a very common fail on the driving test where people go through amber. Remember, legally, amber means stop if safe to do so. So planning ahead will help you eliminate that problem. Okay, so it's that whole saying of failure to plan is planning to fail. So on the approach to that traffic light, give yourself that countdown. From here I'd stop, from here I'd stop, from here I'd stop, from here I'd go, and then you can act upon that. The other time that we also have a potential hazard is if you can see there's a pedestrian that might want to cross, or there's motorcyclists, for instance, or if there's a car coming out of a side street. Again, all of these things are possibly going to make you slow down. So again, plan ahead. Then the last one is progressive. So you've already seen a hazard, say a cyclist, you've checked your rear view, but then the cyclist looks over their right shoulder. The hazard's now progressed, they might move in front of you. So we want to double check again, see what's going on. Okay. Going back to the active hazard, this is again another fault that a lot of people, sorry, phone going there, a lot of people have as an issue and they miss, is when it comes to the speed decrease signs. So when you're coming up to a slower speed limit, what you've got to remember is you have to be doing that speed before you get to that sign. If you don't, you are speeding and it could be a fail. Now it's really important that you remember the could be bit here. Come the spring, when the trees start to produce their leaves, signs do get covered up and you can't see them very well. So what you can then have as a scenario is you're driving, you're in a 60-mile-an-hour national speed limit road, and then all of a sudden you'll see a 30 sign. Don't just slam on the brakes. Okay, know what's going on behind you, and if it's not safe, proceed over the speed limit but gently braking. You can't cause an accident, that will fail you, goes again without saying. So check the rear view and just gently apply the brakes and allow the car to slow down to that new speed limit. Yes, you are speeding in the zone, but the examiner will understand why and they will still pass you. It is not your fault that the road signs are not well maintained. So they're the three categories that the examiner is going to be marking you on, but there's an extra one that I like to add into this, and if you've seen my videos on motorways, it will kind of drill in the point. Just keep updating your rear view mirror. The more you know what's going on behind you, the safer it is. And if you see a motorcyclist coming up in the rear view 300 meters down the road, and then you see him 5 seconds later and they're 250 meters down the road and so on, when you know they're disappearing, it's because they're already alongside you, they're in your blind spot. So technically you could probably drive without even checking your side mirrors, as long as you keep checking your rear view mirror often enough. So I always advise just every 5 seconds, just a quick little glance to know what's going on. Don't worry about another sort of urban myth that we hear a lot of people saying is, oh, I should be checking my mirror whenever I change gear. You don't have to. You can see as I pulled away there, I checked my left mirror, so I knew that cyclist was coming. Now, if you keep checking your rear view mirror every single time you change gear, you're going to be concentrating so much on that routine. Don't save it for the driving test, okay? Just drive the same as you do on your lessons for the test, because otherwise you're going to be doing something different that you're not used to, and that's where you're going to pick up the faults. So I hope that video has helped, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. And as always, if you have any comments, put a comment in the comment section below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.